What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the BroTech Gaming Podcast. I'm your boy Sean, here with my homie Carlos.
Hello.
Uh, we're about to get into it in another episode. We got a cool episode for you guys, but first, it's been a minute since me and Carlos have caught up. So, Carlos, how's it going, dude? How you been?
I've been pretty good, man. Just kicking back at work, catching up on all these Fast and Furious movies that we're trying to do a podcast on coming up.
Yeah, so we do have a podcast planned or an episode planned in the future. We're gonna be doing a Fast and Furious movie tier list. I haven't brushed up on the movies in a while. Carlos was kind enough to do his own like personal marathon to get caught up. He did send me a YouTube video at the same time that I could like do a sort of like a, I guess you call it just like a summary of all the movies. So I watched that whole freaking thing. It was like 35 or 40 minutes long. And then I've watched like the recent Fast 9 movie. We will try to save our thoughts for the actual episode, but yeah, that'll be a fun one. That'll
Yeah,
be a fun
it's
one.
it's gonna be very funny because we're gonna be laughing a lot. So make sure
It's
you
it's,
make sure you guys catch that one because it's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be kind of cringy, man. It could be a little cringy. Yeah, but yeah, so that's what you've been up to lately is just cramming all your free time into watching Fast and Furious movies. So
Yeah,
I guess that's a good or a bad thing.
yeah, and trying to keep up with like the Apex updates. We talked about like the new character coming out, and they actually showed off his abilities now, and they kind of went into detail about it. So I'm kind of excited now that I've seen a little bit more to play as him. They talked about the ranking updates, which I'm excited for that too because it's like ladder. They changed it to like ladder something. It's not rank points anymore. So excited about
Yeah.
that. And I think the RE45 was going to be ground loot again. So kind of happy about that because that was like a cool gun to pick up like when you first drop.
Yeah, and honestly, the R9 was kind of meta for a while, so I imagine that they're probably gonna like nerf the R9. If the R45 is ground loot, they're gonna want people to pick that up and use it. So that's most likely gonna be the next meta gun, which is cool. I don't mind it. Um, but like the R9 was slapping, and I feel like they're gonna go back to just kind of how it was, where it was just weak sauce again. Uh, but at the same time, now we're back in a point where we got like kind of too many like submachine guns on the ground because you got the Volt, you got the car, you got the R9, and then you got the R45 back. So we're basically got like four subs. Uh, Still only truly have like two or three assault rifles. Like the Nemesis is still new. The like the 301 is always sort of like the main staple, and then you've got the flatline. And those have kind of only been like truly ARs. I don't know if I consider the Havoc an AR, but nobody uses the Havoc. Everybody like skips the Havoc, but yeah. Yeah, we'll see how the changes and the updates go. I haven't been able to really keep up with it myself, just haven't had time.
Yeah, I've been watching our boys Staycation, stay up to date with updating us. So that's what I've been
Nice.
watching.
Yeah, I'm still on the Twitters and the Twitches. I'm still just watching Nick Merckx when he does his like his ALGS like scrims and stuff. That's kind of like the only Apex I've been paying attention to, but I'm sure when the update comes, everybody's going to be on it. We're going to get a lot more info and get a feel for it. So we will be sure to keep you guys tuned in on that one once the new updates drop. So
Yes, for sure. So yesterday I went to the movies, saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Volume 3. It was pretty good. I went on Twitter, gave it a 10 out of 10. I was very pleased with it. Uh, it was just a good movie throughout the whole like from beginning to end. And like I didn't really like the second movie. So coming from like the second one, it took me like a year to watch it because I would start watching it and I would get bored halfway through. And then to this one, to me, like really liking it. So I feel like James Gunn like really did a good job on his like exit movie from the MCU. So that's my take on that.
I think that's actually an excellent way to put it too, because I kind of felt like this was sort of his swan song movie. Now that he's going to be sort of like focusing on like everything DC. So I'm glad to hear that it kind of goes out with a bang. I'm excited to watch it. Michelle's excited to watch it because that's kind of like the only sort of Marvel franchise that we've been like excited to see together. That's not like an Avengers movie. So I'm glad to hear that from an extremely like open point of view and unbiased point of view that you liked it because I know that we've been kind of tired of Marvel. So good to know, good to hear that it's worth it, worth going to. Stay tuned for maybe a review on that one in the future. So a bro tech review for Guardians 3.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm open to that.
Yeah. Cool, cool. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and get into the episode, guys. So we haven't sort of done a like a list for you guys in a while, so we wanted to do what are some of our favorite zombie games that we played throughout our life, whether they be games or franchises. We're going to talk about it. Carlos and I sort of pick through our own personal list of ones that we like and enjoy. So we're definitely not going to cover all of them because there's a lot out there. I was telling Carlos that I was looking through it, and there's just so many zombie games, and I know I haven't played all of them. There's probably some that we missed that maybe you guys like. Please leave comments. Please let us know if there's anything we missed in this episode that you potentially like as a zombie game. But I'm gonna go ahead and let Carlos get started on this one. Carlos, your first pick. Tell me what it is. Favorite zombie game.
So my number one most favorite zombie game is The Walking Dead, the Telltale games with Clementine. I'm a huge fan of her. I even got like some books on her and stuff like that. She was a really cool character. She comes out in the first game. She's like a little kid, and she has like the little the she had like the what is it, like a little snake on her hat, but it kind of looks like a D for the Dodgers. You know, I'm a big Dodger
Okay.
fan.
Oh yeah, you got it. That's the reason.
Nah, she was cool. She like you really felt her emotions going through like that whole story, like her ups and downs. And it was kind of a heartbreaking story for her, just knowing what she has to go through. And I think she came out in every the Walking Dead Telltale games because they had like different volumes or different chapters. They went by chapters, and as they progress, she gets older, and she just goes through so much shit. Dude. She like loses like fingers and stuff, and you're like there to see it. And like she loses like friends that she's known for a while, and it's just her going through the struggle. So for me, it was a really good game. I know towards the end, I think the Telltale, um, I don't know, I can't remember who it was, but they kind of went out of business. So they left that gap from the second one to the third one or whatever what the last one was, and then another company came in and helped them finish the game and to put the game out to finish her story, which I thought was really cool. I'll do some research on it and I'll put it up on the screen, so you guys know who it was. But yeah, that's my number one pick. If you guys haven't played it, play it. It's I think it's on PlayStation on the PlayStation Store. It should be kind of cheap right now because it's been a few years since it came out.
Yeah, actually, I think I've seen that pop up on almost like every kind of platform there is because it came out a long time ago. I'm pretty sure PS2, right? PS2 at first, maybe, or
Maybe
PS3, maybe.
PS3.
Yeah, maybe PS3. But I mean, it's not, it wasn't like a graphically demanding game. It was very story driven, kind of like interactive, so to speak, but like great storytelling. I personally didn't get to play them and enjoy them the way Carlos did. Like I started it a couple times, but I just like I couldn't like push into it. I know Michelle actually played it, but she's got it on like her old PSP, and it was on the PS3. I think there's even some mobile versions out there. So, um, but yeah, Telltale. I know that they jumped around and did like a lot of other titles too outside of Walking Dead. Like they had like a Game of Thrones when they did. They had like one that was called like something wolf, like something I don't know. It was something about a wolf that they were like kind of popular for, and I think they even did like a Batman one too. But I feel like they sort of bounced around, and like you said, they just kind of I think they had to like dismantle themselves or something happened to where they couldn't continue it on. So that would be cool if we see sort of like a comeback in that. But yeah, not a lot for me to say on it just because I didn't really experience all that much. But like, other than you, I've heard it's a great franchise. A lot of other people played it, just great storytelling, great characters. So props, shout outs to Telltale's Walking Dead.
Yeah, it was way better than any other Walking Dead game because I don't know if you remember, but like Daryl had his own game
Hmm.
that was like really horrible. I didn't even play it. I just watched it and I was just like, yeah, I'm not touching that game.
Yeah, and there was like I think like an open world Walking Dead game that some company was promoting like several years ago, and like I don't even know if that actually went anywhere besides like a whole bunch of just like mobile games that were just milking the AMC franchise. So I will have to go back and give the Telltale one a try though when I get the time.
All right, sounds good. So that's my top pick. Let's jump into yours.
All right, so my top pick for favorite zombie game, it's kind of a toss up between a couple of them, but I think mine has to go to Resident Evil 2. I think Resident Evil 2 might be one of my all-time top zombie games just because especially when it came out, like it seriously like defined a genre. Like when you thought of a zombie game, you obviously thought about Resident Evil, but I don't think anything hit quite the way that Resident Evil 2 did. Resident Evil 2 improved on everything that was, at the time groundbreaking from Resident Evil 1. Bigger world, more zombies, multiple paths, multiple stories. It was sort of the standard for zombie like horror survival. Even though the gameplay is a little dated now, like you had the fixed camera, you didn't have a 3D camera back then because the games were kind of, they weren't very advanced to do that kind of stuff. But it still kind of gave you like that thrill and suspense because not knowing what was around the corner, not being able to like peek around corners and stuff, like you didn't have tight aim mechanics. You had to make the best out of your ammo because sometimes like it would take 20 bullets to put down something because you didn't have a 3D cam to like aim lock and shoot things in the head and stuff. So Resident Evil 2 still has to be like my favorite zombie game. Haven't played the remake yet. I do want to play the remake, but obviously like everything I've heard is especially with all the remakes of late, they've all been like excellent remakes. So I'm excited to play Resident Evil 2 and re-experience that again with, new graphics, new mechanics. But yeah, other than that, man, growing up, like as a kid, I would sneak into my cousin's bedroom to use his PlayStation so that I could play so that I could play Resident Evil on his PlayStation. I don't know that he knows that I snuck into his room to do that. But he'll know now if he listens to the podcast. But yeah, like I used to like get so excited to play that, and then I got it on the N64. And then playing it on the N64 was like the first time I got to own it for myself, and that was just like I must have played through that thing like several multiple times because it had like different stories. It let you play from like two different perspectives. Like you played the game as Leon, and then you could play it again as Claire. And then it even had like a mode with Ada Wong. It had sort of like side missions where you didn't have the nemesis. You had like the giant like dude in the black suit, but he was sort of like an archetype for nemesis. So I felt like two sort of offered you a little bit of everything in the Resident Evil franchise, and arguably might be one of like the most like important games in the franchise just for how it progresses like the lore and the story because like everything kind of always goes back to Raccoon City like and that was definitely the game that did it for me. So top pick for me, Resident Evil 2, the OG Resident Evil 2.
All right, nice. I feel like I did get the remake for it, and I didn't get that far into it. I think it's just too many games, not enough
It,
time.
same thing for me, dude. I have the remake on PS4. I still have it like wrapped in plastic. I've been meaning to play it, and I think I even have like free downloads on my computer now too. So there's no excuse for me not to play it. I just haven't had time.
All right. Well, at least you got a collector's item now.
Yeah, still in plastic.
All right. All right. That was a good pick. So staying on the Resident Evil topic for mine is Resident Evil 5. Because that was the one with dude, what was his name? Is it
Yeah,
Chris?
Chris Redfield.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Chris Redfield. He gets introduced like all like just like super jack, like muscles everywhere. Like I was like, who is this dude? And so yeah, so like the gameplay was cool. I like the mechanics. I like the co-op that it had, especially the co-op because you're able to play online with people, like even randoms or like the homies. And the thing that I didn't like was the second player. Um, I guess because Chris is like right-handed, so you see over like the right shoulder, and then what's her name? What's her name? Like Sheva, whatever her name is.
Sheva, yeah, Sheva.
So the camera is fixed on the other side, so you're basically like looking over her left shoulder, and it kind of throws you off if you just play as Chris and then you
Mhm.
switch to the other one. Like I know when that happened to me, it threw me off, and I didn't like it. I didn't like playing as her. Um, but yeah, other than that, the game was pretty cool. I can honestly say it was one of the Resident Evils that I actually finished multiple times because the
Mhm.
storyline was pretty good. The action was really good, especially at the end when you're fighting the Rock and not like the Rock the actor, but like a big ass boulder.
Yeah.
You got like Chris doing button mashes to like knock over the boulder, doing specials on it and stuff. And I don't know how he did it, but he did like an uppercut, and the boulder came like coming down the volcano. But it was really funny at the time.
Yeah, Resident Evil 5, like I like that one a lot because it definitely came out around the time when like couch co-op was a big deal. Like playing like playing Gears of War, playing Army of Two, and then like, we had Resident Evil, and it was clearly supposed to be like a co-op game. I think the most frustrating thing for me in 5 was if you just let the AI control Sheva, she was just a freaking ammo hog, man. Like she would always be like, I'm out of ammo, I need ammo, and like you would give her ammo because like you kind of need her to survive some of like the hordes, but then she just burns through it so fast. It's like, can you like not waste like two clips on one zombie? Like I don't have any ammo. So I think that was like the most annoying part of it. Is it was definitely more fun for me playing as a co-op game. But using AI with Sheva was such a pain in the ass because she just like burned through your ammunition so fast, dude. Like it was so annoying. But yeah, that was definitely a good one. Definitely remember 5 as being one of the good ones.
Yeah. Also thinking about it now, Joe Valentine came out in it when she had like that spider thing on her chest, and you have to try to
Yeah.
shoot it off. And like the fight scenes with her was pretty cool because I think it was like a 2v1, like you and Shover trying to fight her, and then it goes into like a 2v1 versus Wesker when I think you and Jill are fighting against Wesker, and like he's kicking like both of you guys' asses, which is pretty
Dude.
cool.
I remember actually playing through that segment so many freaking times because like almost the entire fight with Wesker was what was like the button mashing things. Like you had to like, okay, like press X to dodge left, to press A to slice, press Y to dodge again, and just like it was just like constant. And like I don't remember how many freaking times I did that stupid fight because like, oh, like I pressed the wrong button, and like me bouncing back and forth between like PlayStation 3 and Xbox because like it wasn't normal to have like both consoles around that time, especially at our age where we were working like minimum wage at like Walmart. But like I would always get confused about my A's and my X's and then like my triangles and my circles and all that stuff. I'm like, shit, I have to like relearn. I had to like look down at my controller every time a freaking like a quick time event came up, and like I just died all the freaking time. And if you played that on a higher difficulty, you had like not even like half a second to like push it. Like you had to like be instant, or otherwise you were gonna like screw up and like die again.
Yeah, good times.
Good
But yeah,
times.
so that's my number pick, my number
Okay.
two pick.
Cool, cool. Very good pick. Very good pick. So the next pick on my list, which was shy of being like my favorite zombie game, is actually Dying Light, the first Dying Light. Dying Light came out in 2015. I think it was made by the same studio that was doing like the Dead Island games and all that stuff. Which I did like the Dead Island games. It just, they got kind of stale for me, but Dying Light came out, kind of picked all the same, kept all the same mechanics from Dead Island, where like you could craft your weapons. It was like an open world. It had a lot of parkour mechanics. It was first person, but just like the world building in the first Dying Light was so cool to me. Like the zombies were like your very typical zombies, but what was fun about it was like based on the weapon you were using, like if you smacked them in the head, like it like it would react to their head, or you could slice limbs off. It was kind of like like a sandbox style game with how you wanted to take out zombies. So it was just a really fun game for me, just being like in an open world zombie game. The mechanics were really cool. The story was actually really good. Um, it was just different for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I played through that whole game. I think I put like 60 or something hours into it, but I know I gave you a copy to borrow, but like you tried it, but you really couldn't get into it that much. But like for me, like I really enjoyed Dying Light Part One is one of my top zombie games. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that you let me borrow it, and I did play it, and I feel like I know it's probably like a weak excuse, but I couldn't really get into it because of the controls.
okay,
I know like you use like the bumpers to like jump and run and stuff like that, so that way you can always have your thumbs on here to like maneuver.
yeah,
And I don't know why. I think I'm just stuck on that Call of Duty control layout. So like anything else just doesn't feel right. And but the game was actually pretty good. The like the amount of time I put into it, I was like it was cool. Like I like playing it. I know I didn't beat it, but I feel like I did get maybe like a quarter to almost halfway done with it, I want to say. Um but yeah, I don't really remember a lot about that game.
yeah. And I mean, it came out such a long time ago, and since then, I actually did buy Dying Light 2. I don't like Dying Light 2 nearly as much as Dying Light 1, just based on the story and stuff. But the one I guess kind of complaint too is like whenever I play it, it takes me a second to relearn the controls because like your shoulder buttons are different from like your typical games, and some of the movement mechanics are very different because it's a very like it's really more of a movement based game, like how to traverse the map. It's not really just about like run and gun. So like you have to be able to get away from zombies, and you have to be able to like traverse the map and get over obstacles and like run and slide. So I always have to reteach myself how to play it every time I pick it up. But yeah, I mean, first game, like when I was just like totally like zoned in and focused on it, like I did like a lot about the game. I thought the physics were cool, and just being a straight up zombie survival game, like it was just fun. I liked it. So that's my number two, Dying Light.
Okay, all right, good game. Very popular.
Hmm.
So we'll get into my number three. It's a game called Dead Rising. Um, I don't know when this game came out, but I know it was a long ass time ago.
Hmm.
I think it was a Capcom game. Um, but yeah, so basically you're a journalist that gets dropped off at the mall when like this whole zombie apocalypse thing is going down. So he wants to go in there and take pictures. I think his name was like Frank, and so when he gets into the mall, he's basically trying to save people, and he fights bosses, and not necessarily like mutant zombie bosses. It's just like people that have gone crazy that like take up a certain store or something, and you have to go in there and take them out. But the fun part about that game was that you can turn anything into a weapon, even if it didn't do much to the zombie. Like I remember there was like a maybe like a squirt gun or like a Nerf gun that you can shoot the zombies, and all it does is just kind of like pushes them back momentarily, and then they start coming after you again. Um, that was cool. I remember you can throw like teddy bears at them and stuff like that, but you can also use like chainsaws and stuff that actually like would hurt them. I remember jumping in the car and just driving around the mall, going through like the tunnel, like the underground tunnel, the parking garage, and and if you crash your car, like you're dead because there was like a million zombies under there, and like you were not getting through that alive.
Nice, nice. I never actually played any of the Dead Rising games, but I do remember that being one of those like, especially on Xbox, like it was an Xbox exclusive game. So if you had an Xbox, like you at least had to have like the Dead Rising games, and everybody always talked about Dead Rising as being like one of the best zombie games just because of its like creativity and like being able to just like craft weapons out of just like nothing that you just find and pick up in the mall. And it kind of gave me like the I don't know if I don't know if Dead Rising came out like before Dawn of the Dead. Like but I almost feel like one of those were like somehow inspired from one another just to have like a whole like setting inside of a mall, which I thought was pretty badass.
Yeah, I would say the game was based off of the movie because the original Dawn of the Dead came out way before.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, the OG
Yeah.
like George Romero one. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's a good place to be in a zombie apocalypse. Is at the mall, maybe.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess it
maybe
depends
that
on the mall,
mall. Yeah,
not
that
not the
mall.
AV mall.
Yeah, nah, you walk in there, bro, you're dead. Even without a zombie apocalypse.
I'll snatch I'll snatch up a mannequin from H&M and M and smack it smack it with an arm from a mannequin. Like we don't even have cool stores in our mall anymore. They even shut down the Radio Shack, so I'm not even gonna be able to like craft explosives or anything.
Yeah, for real. I mean, you always got a Dick's Sporting Goods now. You can walk around with a dumbbell or something.
No, I'll just live in there, dude. I'll just I'll grab one of those like aluminum baseball bats and just
Oh
start
yeah.
smacking stuff around. So that would be the way. That would be the way to go.
Yeah, and then if you
Cool.
get bored, you can always grab the wiffle ball bats.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I never had the opportunity to play any of the Dead Rising games, but I do know that the sort of like the crafting ability of being able to just make stuff. I feel like that's where like Dead Island and Dying Light definitely got a lot of inspiration from because it kind of used the same concept of just like looting and just making stuff. So I think those kind of things are super cool when it comes to like not just zombie games, but just like any like post-apocalyptic survival game. Like you should be able to like craft things and use things as you can. So like number one rule in the zombie apocalypse is just you need a good weapon. You know, you
Yes,
gotta be able to
something
take its head
durable.
off. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so that's my number three. If you want to get into your number three.
All right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So my third pick, and this might be one that I think this could be potentially on both of our lists. Uh, But my next game is Left for Dead. Whether it be part one or part two, I didn't play a lot of part two, but we definitely did a lot of part one. I mean, honestly, thinking back on it, it's kind of surprising how successful Left for Dead was because honestly, like there really wasn't a lot to it. You only had four maps, you only had up to four players, and it was kind of like grindy and tedious just to get through like each map, but it was just one of the most fun like co-op first person like arcade style shooters that were out there. Like hordes of zombies, you had to work really well together as a team. Not every playthrough was exactly the same. Like different zombies and different like boss, I guess you call them like boss zombies, would pop up in like different areas. But it was just like fun. It was like fun. It was gory. Like the guns were cool. Playing with your homies on like a four player, you could even play it like split screen back in the day. Um, I just remember it being like one of the most fun I've ever had playing a zombie game, especially when you're playing it with your homies. So I got Left for Dead on that one.
Okay. Yeah. I have that one on my list too, so I can kind of talk about it. So yeah, that was one of my favorite games too, just because it didn't take it so serious as far as like the game mechanics, because you have a gun. There's like a pile of ammo that you go up to and just reload or refill your ammo. And like going through it, it's just like you got like zombies jumping over cars and they'll hit the alarm off the car and it'll cause like a whole swarm of zombies to come in. You also had to deal with the witch, which she was like crying, and then you go up to
Dude.
shoot her, and she just starts screaming. Like that was like probably the most scariest part of the game was the fucking witch.
Yeah, so much there's so much tension, bro. Like we would be walking through a building and you just hear her like crying in the background. And we're like, oh fuck, where is she? Where is she? And then we like find her and we're like, okay, wait. Don't do anything yet. Don't do anything. Wait. Just wait. Okay, like one, two, three, we start shooting at her. It's just like every scenario would like end up like that, depending on like, where you were in the map. And it was just fun, dude. It was such a fun just co-op game, like actually working with your homies and your teammates to get through the map. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think I played one way more than I played two. I know two looked a little bit better like visually, but I think it was the same game. I feel like it was the same exact game. Um, but yeah, I that's really all I have for that one. It was just a really fun game, and if you put that game on and put it in front of me, I'm playing it for at least a couple
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, like that was definitely like the game to play late night with your homies with some beers. and pizza and stuff. And then they did come out with Back for Blood, which was, I guess, like unofficially a sequel to Left 4 Dead. But I just don't know that Back for Blood really did nearly as well or had the same level of traction that the OG Left 4 Dead did. I mean, I could be wrong, but like, I just know that they announced it and then like people played it and like nobody really talked about it after that. So I don't know if Back for Blood was actually any good compared to the original Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, that's crazy that you mentioned it because I do remember them coming out with that game, and I don't remember seeing any gameplay on it or anything.
Yeah, it was like quiet, man. And I mean, I from what I saw, like it looked cool. Like it had more, like modern mechanics. It was more in tune to like a modern shooter. But I don't really remember a lot of people talking about it as to whether or not it was good or fun.
Yeah, I'll have to check out some gameplay on it when I have time at work.
Hmm.
See what went down.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, that's what I got for my third is Left 4 Dead. Sounds like you and I both agree on that one as part of our list. So
Yeah, that was actually going to be my number four. So I can jump into my number five, and then you can do your four and five.
it's good.
It's not really a big game. It's called Plants vs Zombies, but Plants vs Zombies was like super fun, especially like if you're on a road trip and because it doesn't take any internet. It's just a game that you play by yourself against the computer,
Mhm.
and it's basically you have a house and you're trying to protect it from zombies, so you plant different plants in the yard, and like different plants do different things. So I think like the first plants that you put down are like sunflower ones, so they absorb energy, so you can plant different types of plants. And then you have some like other type of plants that like shoot stuff at the zombies, and usually it's basically just like a defense game. But it was really fun. I know I was hooked on it for hours. Like anytime I was like I had a little bit of downtime, I was pulling that game out and playing it and trying to beat it. And I remember beating it. That's how much I played it because I think I actually beat it in El Salvador because I didn't have any internet out there. It was the only game I had, so that's when I beat that game. But yeah, I know they came out with a couple other ones, but I've only played the original one.
Yeah, I think they have a part two. I think there was a part two that was made. It's actually funny because like I was Googling online, I was looking for like a list. I was looking for like a top list of like best zombie games, and every single list that popped up, like Plants vs Zombies was like up there like somewhere, whether it was like top 15, top 10, whatever. But I know that I don't know if Michelle played it, but she likes the tower defense games. And I feel like I remember her talking about Plants vs Zombies as being a fun game because she really enjoys that type of gameplay. She's really all about tower defense stuff. So it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that one with like I like having a lot of diversity on our list, and that's definitely like a diverse because it wasn't like a gory game. It was actually more of like a kids game. And it was very cartoony, but it was just it's still very memorable when it comes to like zombie games that people think about.
Yeah, definitely. Because there was different types of zombies too. Like you have like the slow ones. There was one like a football player who like rushed at you. So for that one, you had to put up in that lane that he was running. You got to put up like different stuff to take him out. So
Hmm.
it was very strategic, and that's what I liked about it.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, so Plants vs Zombies. Like I said, I didn't really play it a lot, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, so it's cool. Cool pick for the list. Other than that, I don't really have a lot to say about it, but good pick. All right, so this one for me, it's not really like a top game. Like I don't really have a lot of other games to pick because I don't feel like I played nearly as many zombie games as Carlos did. But what I do have is kind of an honorable mention. I don't consider this a zombie game, but it was a game that had a zombie mode, which was super, super fun. And it's basically just like Call of Duty. Hate me on it, it's okay. Like I understand, but specifically World at War. Like World at War was the first time that they came out with sort of like their own like zombie mode. And it was just I don't know, it was just fun. It was just fun to play with your homies. Not as fun as Left 4 Dead because Left 4 Dead at least had sort of like a beginning and end. COD Zombies was really just more of like a loop. Like the further you got into it, just it just became a game about like how many rounds could you go without dying, and it did definitely get stale after a while. But initially, just like hopping on and just like getting through certain areas, uh, COD Zombies was like still super fun, especially just the World at War days. So that's my pick right now. How do you feel about COD Zombies, Carlos?
I actually really
Especially with
liked
all
them.
its yeah, especially with all its iterations nowadays, or do you have like some in particular you like more?
I like the OG ones better. I remember the one being inside the like the president's office or something like that.
Oh, Black Ops. I think that was Black Ops Zombies.
Okay, yeah, I remember
Yeah,
playing that
yeah.
one a lot, and I remember there was a glitch where you can jump on the table, and like the zombies couldn't hit you, so you could just
Yeah.
stand on the table and take them all out and get like far into the rounds. But like, I mean, eventually you're gonna run out of ammo, so you got to jump down and do that glitch again. But that one was pretty fun. I remember playing with Cherie like back in the day.
Mhm.
But she actually knew how to like play. Like she's like, okay, we gotta open this door, we gotta go over here, we gotta turn this thing on, then we gotta go all the way over here, get this thing, bring it over here to like open this door so we can like fly over here. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, like I don't remember playing like for me, like I didn't play like COD zombies that way. Like for me it was just like get a gun, shoot the zombies. Like I wasn't trying to do like any like special door opening doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's funny too, dude. Because like there's like a huge community of like COD players that only play zombies, and they're almost like professional zombie players, the way that you would think of like ranked pros and like multiplayer and stuff. But that's like all they do is they grind zombies. And the last time I got into COD Zombies was in I want to say it was Black Ops 4. I think Black Ops 4 was like the last time I attempted like the zombie mode. Um and it was like the map was the Titanic, and like it was cool, like like once you start to like open doors and you can like traverse like back and forth, like it was fun. But it got to a point where it's just like, dude, what the hell am I supposed to do now to unlock these other areas? And like I was looking at like walkthroughs and like gameplay guides and stuff, and like, oh well, you have to like go to this room and you have to like look at the clock and then press the X button when it's at like 7:45, and then you have to run down into the boiler room, and then you have to like activate the boiler at this time, and then you got to go back upstairs. And it had me doing like 7 or 8 steps just to like unlock the next area. I'm just like, who the fuck is doing all of this in like a zombie mode? Meanwhile, while you're trying to figure all this out, like it's still like escalating like each round, because they made it to where like you used to be able to keep one zombie alive like in each round, so that you could sort of just like regroup and like reset and all that stuff. They made it to where if you let one zombie survive for too long, eventually like a timer would wind down, it would auto kill the zombie, and then it would escalate it to the next round. So I mean that's like way later on, but like I was like, damn dude, who's doing all this shit trying to complete all of these freaking like challenges and unlock, man? Like I just want to go back to just running and gunning and just drinking beer and eating pizza.
Yeah. Do you remember when Danny Trejo came out with his own like character and storyline and stuff like that?
Yes. They started getting crazy, dude. They started getting crazy with all their little they had like all their little cameos and stuff like after Black Ops. After well not even Black Ops, after World at War is when they started introducing like cameo characters for each like Treyarch game. Because I think it was basically Treyarch that had the rights to all the COD zombie stuff. But yeah, I remember Danny Trejo.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah,
That was pretty
yeah, good
fun.
times.
I know there was other characters too. I think the girl from what's her name? The
They had
blonde.
Buffy. They had Buffy
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
her. That's the one
Yeah,
I'm thinking about. I can't remember her
yeah.
name. I know it's like Michelle something.
Yeah. I think I feel like for some reason COD Zombies, like specifically the mode, kind of spawned like Dead by Daylight, like Dead by Daylight, that sort of like arcade co-op survival game. That's kind of what it makes me think of nowadays, like it's almost like a spiritual successor to COD Zombies, because like that has a lot of content now and it has like a lot of like cameos and stuff, but like I just remember when like COD Zombies used to be like super super hyped up. Like I felt like people were more excited about that than they were the actual game. And then they used to just drop so much content for it with like all the hidden characters and stuff that they introduced.
Yeah, well, that was before BR. I think that's why, because when the games came out before BR, you had the campaign, you had multiplayer, and you had zombies.
Yeah.
So people who didn't want to play either campaign or multiplayer, they had zombies because they were really big zombie fans. So it kind of it kind of worked out for a lot of people with different interests.
Yeah, and especially with Black Ops 4, especially when they introduced Blackout, like they even had like the zombies like integrated into Blackout. Especially the Alcatraz map, dude. The Alcatraz map was sort of like known for the zombies anyways. And then like you had people running around the map in zombie skins. So you didn't know if it was a real player, if it was just the zombie half the time. Because they had the voice like actions from like the skins that actually sounded like zombies too. So just like, what the fuck is that, a zombie? Is that a player? I don't know. Then I'll get knifed in the back.
Yeah. Actually, speaking about that game, I just seen what's his name, like Phase Swag and
Mhm.
Spiros did a video together, playing Blackout, and this is like a couple days ago.
Oh, no doubt. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I watched that last night, and man, it just brought back a lot of good memories playing that.
So nostalgic, dude. Blackout. I don't know, man. Like they need to do something about that. I miss Blackout so bad.
Yeah, me
We may
too.
never get it again. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
All right. Well, that is my honorable mention pick was COD Zombies, especially World at War. It was just a lot of fun. So I think that's kind of all I got for my zombie list, unless you got anything else to add.
I can throw out some memorable ones, or honorable mentions. Red Dead Redemption, the first one had a zombie
Ooh,
mode.
Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm,
So I looked into that one. That one looked really fun.
yeah.
I think Metal Slug had a zombie mode also.
Hmm.
Or there was zombies in that game at a certain point, a certain level. Those probably zombies.
Hmm.
Um,
Cool, cool.
there was another one on PS3. I can't remember. It was like a top down shooter.
Oh, it's
Uh,
like an arcade style. I think
yeah,
it was called. Uh, okay, we got to look it up now. We got to
yeah,
look it up.
I played the
I think it
shit out
was.
of that game.
I know that if I see it, it's just gonna like a jump out at me right now. It was called Dead Nation.
Yes, Dead
It was
Nation.
called Dead Nation. Yeah,
Dude, that game was
yeah,
so much fun. I loved that game.
yeah. I do remember that one. That was like definitely like very arcade style. Just like you just use like the right stick to just like aim and move around, right? But you just
Yeah.
kind of like you just like walked your dude like across the map.
Yeah, that game was only like two buttons. Like you use your like the control pad and then you use like the shooting gun. Or you
Yeah,
use the gun to shoot and that was it.
yeah. It's actually funny you mentioned that because like do you remember in Black Ops they had that Dead Ops arcade game? And Dead Ops was kind of like that too. It was like the top down, but you just like moved into like a new area, and then you just had like a swarm of zombies that just came in, and you had to just like kill everything and just like traverse to the next area.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, Dead Nation, dude. I remember Dead Nation. That was pretty cool. I think that was almost free to play too, right? Or was just
I think
cheap.
at the time that I got it, it was free, and then I guess they noticed everyone was playing it, so they put a price on it.
Okay, cool, nice, nice. I can throw one more out there too that like I didn't play, but I definitely want to. Kind of got like a lot of mixed reviews, but I still want to play it. It's Days Gone. Like I definitely want to try playing Days Gone. I like the concept of just being like completely just like taken on by like giant hordes of zombies, and you trying to like fight them off and back up. I mean the gameplay still looks really good. I know it didn't get the best reviews, but it's still one I want to try. So I'd like to throw Days Gone in there as like a cool zombie game, even though I don't really have a personal review on it yet.
I can let you borrow it. I have it. I
I'm I
didn't
think I
finish
have
it.
it already. I have it free on
Oh,
my
okay.
PS5. It's just one of those games I just haven't got around to. But no, I got a copy. I got a PS5 copy that I can play. So
Yeah, so the thing about that game is you have to put gas in the motorcycle every so often.
um,
So I remember I got stranded like out like on a mountain or something, and I ran
mhm,
out of gas, so I left my motorcycle to go run back into town. Because then you have
mhm.
to pick up like a gas tank and fill it up with gas and take it back to the motorcycle.
Yeah,
And I think I just said fuck it, and I just like continued the story without my motorcycle. But
too tedious, man. Too
yeah,
tedious. I guess like if you try to make a zombie game like too realistic from the survival aspect, you might end up losing people. because like you really just want to get into what it's about, which is killing zombies. So if you're spending more time like looting supplies than you are actually taking on hordes, and I guess that kind of takes you out of the fun. I understand that.
Yeah, because they do have like gas station. It's kind of like Warzone where you like park your car in front of the gas station and it starts refilling. But it did work in a way to where you kind of had like that tension because you're running out of gas and you have to stop at the gas station, and like this horde's coming after you and you're like waiting for your bike to fill up so you can like get the fuck out of there again. But yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of takes you out too because you're trying to upgrade your bike. You have to like put new tires on it and like shocks and stuff like that. And
I see. Almost too many mechanics.
yeah, that was one thing that took me out of it.
Okay. Okay. Very, very noted. Very noted. Well, cool. I think that might do it then. I don't have anything else to add, Carlos, unless you do.
No, that's it. I think we went through our all of our honorable mentions.
All right. Cool. 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 Do you want to go ahead and take us out?
For sure. If there is a game that you think that we didn't cover enough or something that we missed, go ahead and put it in the comments below and we can talk about it down there. All of our links are in the description below. We have our Twitch, our Kicks, our Spotify, um, Discord's on there
Twitch.
too. You can
People
sign up.
still use Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch. You can sign up for the Discord so you can see when, whenever we upload for YouTube. um, I'm trying to figure out a way to put the Spotify announcement on there, but I think it's like you have to pay for that. So
No, it's all good. We like, if you guys are following us on our socials, like regardless of what platform we're uploading to, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, or what, like there should be some way to be notified of that stuff. Otherwise, we'll let you guys know when stuff's coming out. So just be mindful of the socials.
yeah. So with that, please subscribe to our Spotify. We're at 20 followers on there. If we can get to like 30 by next month, that would be really cool.
Let's get to 30. I think it's been at 20 for a minute, so it's everybody spread the word.
Yeah.
Let people know we're out there. On the flip side, though, our YouTubes have been trending pretty good. Our last episode is breaking, I think, 80 viewers, which is kind of a lot for us. So we appreciate the support from you guys. It'd be cool to get to like 100 subscribers on YouTube, though. I was thinking in my head like, hey, if we get to like 100, maybe we could do like a giveaway or something like that. So I'll talk that over with Carlos to be like a cool 100 subscriber mark. Maybe we'll like uh, give something out to our subscribers. So we'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'm down for that.
Cool.
All right. So you guys have been listening to the Bro Tech Gaming Podcast. My name is Carlos. His name is Sean over here this way. And thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys sub, hit the like button, hit the bell so y'all don't miss anything. And with that, thank you guys. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.